Professional Development Modules by Kevin Levia. We're going to talk about two models for professional development according to instructional design. The first module is Module 1, Addie. The Addie model is an instructional design methodology that's used to help organize and streamline the production of your course content. Although it was developed back in the 1970s, Addie is still one of the most commonly used models for instructional design, mostly because it is simple and effective. The next module we will talk about is the Kirkpatrick model from Dr. Donald Kirkpatrick. This was developed in the 1950s, and the model is still implemented, but it can be used before, throughout, and following training to show the value of the training to the business. So let's talk about Module 1, Addie. And thank you, ResearchGate.net, for providing the graphic. So Addie is an acronym for the 5 stages of a development process: analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. The Addie model relies on each stage being done in the given order, but there's a focus on and reflection on the iteration where evaluation can be implemented at any stage. The model gives you a streamlined, focused approach that provides feedback for continuous improvement. And thank you to learnupon.com walking us through a good description of each step, starting with the analysis. So before you start developing any content or training strategies, you should analyze the current situation in terms of training, knowledge gaps, etc., and start with a series of questions to understand the current situation and also understand what the goal of the training is itself. This influences a huge amount of the decisions much later in the process. But one very common question is, what is the point of the training? Why are we doing this? What type of behavioral change are we anticipating? Will training actually help? And this phase should be a full audit of the audience, business goals, training methodology used, the different types of media, all that stuff. And once this is done, you can generate a training plan that addresses the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, why, and also how. One of the core things of this is that you'll develop your training plan, and you can ask the question, how can we improve the situation or achieve the business goals through this training? So you'll use this question as the foundation for the rest of the process. You should come out with some type of analysis training needs or a training plan. Next is the design step. So with your training plan all complete, when you get to the design phase, this is where you can take all of the learning, all the information that you get from the previous phase, and use it to make a practical decision. This includes the strategy, the delivery methods, structure, duration, assessment, and feedback. The next step is to storyboard your idea and create a prototype. So you're creating a blueprint for your course, and you can make a prototype so you can quickly communicate with the stakeholders the value of the training. So an initial testing phase of the prototype is always a good idea, and it's a sanity check basically that is carried out prior to moving forward. So basically you should come out with an overview of the course design, storyboard, and prototypes. Next step is development. So in this stage, you can begin to create the course. You'll be heavily guided by the prototype or the storyboards that you created. Each element of the course should be developed to match the design phase. The core content has already been decided. All you need to do is add a level of detail and polish the course. This is done by adding graphics, choosing colors, deciding on the fonts, very much like I did in the making of this presentation. And to some, it might seem trivial, but it's a huge bearing on how to engage people that are taking the course. So careful selection of these elements allows you to present the course in a manner that will appeal to the audience, which will become apparent with the analysis of the audience when you get to the first phase. The development process should be iterative. Once you have created a course, you should test it to ensure there are no basic errors, grammar, spelling, syntax. Found about 15 errors before I published this one. But you should also look at the mechanics of the course, run the slideshow, things like that. A key consideration at this stage is navigation, and that's one of the biggest trip ups. Is you're going to get a lot of emails saying, "How do I navigate through this course?" So you want to be able to make it very user friendly. The vast majority of the problems that learners encounter are related to how the course was built in the authoring tool. The frustrating thing about this, it can be that something very simple that the instructional designer misses is because they did not test the course out. So testing the course is not just flicking through it, it's a systematic check on the accuracy of the content and the utility of the navigation. Can a learner progress its way the way it was designed? Do you have to make changes? Even if they make unexpected decisions, you have to think about those types of things as well. Building upon that, there should be a check on the flow of its content, and check and see if it's engaging. How long is it? Things of that nature. So you should basically come out with course content at this point. Next is implementation. So once you've completed the course and that you're satisfied that it's fully tested, it's time to share it with the learner. So the decisions that are made in the design phase will influence how this is actually carried out. The majority of the cases, the courses are uploaded to a learning management system, or LMS, and the delivery options are all set up through that LMS. Basically, who's enrolled, how much time they're given, what the passing grades will be for the assessments, and any kind of collection of feedback. The delivery, tracking, and reporting are all handled by the learning management system. The instructional designer should monitor the situation for any issues that pop up. One of the best ways to prevent against any problems in the implementation phase is to conduct what's called a pilot course, basically your test course or a beta version. And then once everything's smoothed out, you can go ahead and launch the live course. So what you should come out with is that your courses are live in the learning management system, and the learners can start and take and to complete the course. The last portion is evaluation, and even though it's in the center, it's not necessarily following the cycle, but you can evaluate at any stage. But so basically, when you're dealing with evaluation, the main goal for Addie is to provide a structured method of creating training programs. It's also, however, a very powerful model for improving the way future iterations are carried out. So getting feedback on every aspect of the course, whether it's the analysis, design, development, or implementation, you can use that with the evaluation. So things that focus on with the evaluation, you can ask the questions: did you meet the goals that you initially set out? Get some feedback and take that and put it back in the analysis phase. Identify any other training requirements that might pop up. Instructions change all the time for the Navy, so we're always implementing those instructions and changing training accordingly. Possible changes in the media types or the approach. So a great way to get feedback is to get learners to complete a survey or a questionnaire at the end of the course. We do this on every course. It's mandatory in the Navy, but this can be done with using the learning management system. It doesn't even matter if you can hand out a piece of paper and have them fill it out, but as long as you're getting that feedback, that's what's really important. You should come back out with an evaluation report and changes that are actionable to help out with the current or the future course. And that wraps up Addie. We're going to go on to the next module, Module 2. Thank you, eidesigns.net, for providing the Kirkpatrick model, that graphic that we're going to be referring to. So the Kirkpatrick model goes from the bottom up. First level is reaction. Level 2 is learning. The next level is behavior. And the final is impact. Educationaltechnologies.net or technology.net provides a good walkthrough on the 4 stages. So the first stage, reaction. So the objective for this level is pretty straightforward. It evaluates how the individuals react to the training module by asking questions that also establishes the trainee's thoughts. So questions will figure out if the participant enjoyed the experience, if they found the material and program useful, is it applicable to their work, This particular form of evaluation is typically referred to as a smile sheet by some people. Maybe we call it just a feedback form. So as outlined by Kirkpatrick, each program needs to be assessed at this level to help improve the model for future use. On top of that, the participant's response is essential for determining how invested they will be in learning the next level. The next level, level 2, is learning. Evaluating at this level is meant to gauge the level of participants have developed in expertise, knowledge, or mindset. Exploration at this level is far more challenging and time-consuming compared to level 1. Techniques vary from informal to formal tests and self-assessments or team assessments. If at all possible, individuals can take the test or the evaluation prior to the training, which is considered a pre-test, or following the training, post-test, to figure out how much the participants comprehended. Next level is behavior, or the transfer. So this level analyzes the difference in the participation's behavior at work after completing the program. Assessing the changes make it possible to figure out if the knowledge, mindset, or skills of the program taught are being used in the workplace. For the majority of individuals at this level, it offers the truest evaluation of a program's usefulness. Having said that, testing at this level is challenging because it's generally impossible to anticipate when a person will start properly utilizing what they've learned in the program, making it much more difficult to determine how often and exactly how to evaluate the participant after the assessment. So basically the guideline is you should start testing 3 to 6 months after the training. And the last level is impact. So commonly regarded as the primary goal of the program, this level determines the overall success of the training model by measuring factors such as lowered spending, higher return on investment or return on instructional investment, improved quality of products, less accidents in the workplace, things of that nature. Thank you for watching my presentation, and here are the references.